Kwab, we got a series. Not that we didn't have one already, but we really, really, really have a series. The OKC Thunder take down the Denver Nuggets in Denver, 92-87. Great game. Kwab, let's go to the box score. SGA with 25, 6, and 6. And he didn't really have much else help. I mean, from anyone in particular. Wiggins had 11. Case and Wallace had 11. For the Nuggets, Jokic 27 and 13. Jamal Murray 17 and 5. And Christian Brown had 17 points. A very weird game because to start the game, nobody could hit anything. It was probably some of the worst basketball I think we've ever seen, ever.
It was terrible. It was terrible first quarter, like one of the worst first quarters and first halves I've seen in a while. Like, it was terrible.
I mean, Denver couldn't hit anything, especially Denver. OKC couldn't get going. It was just... was it good defense? I don't even know.
No.
I thought Case and Wallace, when he came into the game, he played great defense on Jamal Murray. Jokic, they didn't allow him to do anything, really. He didn't really shoot the ball until the second quarter.
Yeah.
Christian Brown was active. He got to the line. That's how he got most of his points because he wasn't really hitting much. For OKC, same old stuff, really. Most of the game, I thought SGA was bad, to be honest with you, until the end. I thought Jalen was awful. They weren't moving the ball. Like it was just a bad offensive game, especially in the first half. And in the end, what just ended up happening was OKC role players started getting in rhythm. Caruso, Wiggins, who am I missing here? Wallace ended up hitting big threes in rhythm. They started moving the ball more in the fourth quarter. Denver was playing zone for most of the game, all of the game, really, because OKC was having a hard time with that. And Jokic has been looking mortal, man. If I'm going to be honest with you, I know he had 20-something points today, but he looked mortal today. You know, missing free throws, him missing free throws, Aaron Gordon missing big free throws, just not delivering. And Russ was bad today, too. Just overall, just a bad showing from the Denver Nuggets in a game where they could have really taken control of the series. But shout out to OKC. I mean, we said this before. We said this actually all year. When your defense is that good, the ceiling for your offense doesn't have to be that high. You can get away with a game where you have Wiggins and Wallace as your second and third leading scorers, with Williams struggling, Chet not giving you much. I mean, you can win a game like that, and a game where SGA wasn't that great either. That's what makes OKC so dangerous to me. They have the best defense by far in the league, and they showed it today.
Yeah, you have more room for error when you have a great defense. But to start off, I want to say that the game was terrible because why was that the early game? Why was that the early game? I think that I know people might not want to like buy into that, but I think that factored into it because it's essentially like a noon game for. I'm not sure.
It was a 36-hour turnaround, so it wasn't even like you got like 2 days rest.
Yeah, after they've just played an overtime game, so I think that factored into it. You saw a lot of like missed shots and air balls from both sides. The OKC like we like you said, we talked about how many defensive personnel they have in terms of your wings, and you had Caruso, Wiggins, and Wallace like step up, not just on defense but also on offense and hit big shots. Late in the game, again, it kind of like the same thing they had last game was Shai spent too much time trying to hit the home run shot, and luckily for them, like he was able to. Well, not luckily, he's still one of the best players in the league. He was able to hit a couple of tough shots, but he took a couple of like just not. It just wasn't good offense at the end of the game, but they were able to pull it off because of their defense and key stops and role players hitting big shots. The Nuggets side, it was just for two teams that have really good offenses and really and OKC has a good defense. That was just one of the worst first halves I've ever watched. I was so I'm like, yo, this can't be real. Which is crazy to look at that score and then to think about because the Pacers think about what the Pacers are doing right now to the Cavs.
Oh my God!
Like the contrast in that is like astonishing, but props to the OKC Thunder because this was a must-win game. Like if they didn't win this game, then it 3-1 always feels like the series is over. So for them to come out and win the game and play aggressively, even when they were down, I think they were down 8 at one point, and they were able to sustain and make a comeback, which was good for them. You saw a little bit of the big to big play throughout the course of this game, especially in the second half with Hartenstein lobbing the ball to Chet a couple of times, but I mean, it was a weird game because like everybody's offenses was in a funk essentially.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was good for OKC to finally pull out a game where it wasn't a blowout.
No, and they were down too. I mean, the Nuggets, they took over in the third quarter. They won that third quarter by 12 points. And you know, you have the home court advantage. The crowd's going crazy. You know, that was their best offensive quarter by a mile.
Yeah.
So it seemed like they turned the corner there and kind of figured a few things out. But that wasn't the case. Again, like I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that like Jokic hasn't been good. Let's just be outside of game one, Jokic hasn't really been that Jokic or MVP.
He hasn't been Jokic,
at all. I mean, not even just from like a scoring standpoint. He's struggling scoring the basketball, but he's having a hard time creating for others too. You know, obviously there's moments here and there. It's not like he's, you know, been awful, but he's not been like best player in the world, unstoppable hub on offense. I mean, in the first half, anytime he got the ball, like there was nowhere for him to go. Hartenstein is not giving him his little elbow jumper. Like he's missing his jump shot. He's been struggling from three. Just he's not having the same impact on that end of the floor as he typically has since game one. Yeah. And I think that's a big reason why, especially today, you know, why they were struggling a lot. Typically Jokic is going to get you Aaron Gordon 2-3 dunks a game. You know what I mean? He's going to find Russell Westbrook on the break. Christian Brown's going to get some transition buckets because of Jokic. Like Jokic is going to find you and you're going to get some easy hoops. They haven't really done that at all this series. They're the best transition team in the league, and they haven't really got out and run much at all, at least today. So for me, like, I hate when like Stephen A. Smith does this, right? When they go to the halftime show, Stephen A. is like, SGA just has to play better. Jokic just has to play better. Like he just always reduces it to the fact that the superstar has to play better. But in reality, in this case, I think Jokic does have to play better. Jokic needs to be that hub on offense. They need to figure out a way to make him be more, I want to say more creative, but he has to get people open. He has to be the one who's getting easy shots for other players because right now that's not what's happening. Michael Porter Jr. had another stinker, you know, after having a fantastic game in game three. It's just...
No, go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just, I for an offense that's so good, it was truly baffling to see how bad they were today. For the most part, except for the third quarter.
Most part. I would say, like, that's crazy. Like, the Michael Porter's only bucket was like a dunk, and which confused me. I'm like, dog, you have one shoulder, relax. But it's crazy that a Jokic bad game is 27 points and 13 rebounds, and it was like that's not. And we're watching that like and saying like that's not Jokic. Like that's not a typical like effective Jokic game where he controls everything. But to your point again, I feel like I'm always like to your point. But to your point, OKC has a really good defense.
Fantastic defense.
Like been the best defensive team throughout the course of the season. Well, with them and he's been with them and the Cavs, but the fact that you're giving Jokic this much trouble when a lot of people expected Jokic to have like just a dominant series, especially coming from the Clippers series. I saw a lot of people online saying like, well, he had to deal with Zubac and going from Zubac to Chet and
Hartenstein
and Isaiah, it's going to be easy. And I'm like, it's not.
Hartenstein's a good defender, man.
Yeah,
He's
and they sit on his hand, they force him to take tough shots. Like it's been a great it's been a tough matchup for him, and I don't like you said I don't know what else they have to do. They have to move him around more in the court just to try to get more effective spots, or they maybe play more of the two man handoff game with him and Murray. But that's also tough because OKC wing defenders, usually they're able to switch everything and, deny and stay on players and make it tough for them to get open shots. So that's factored into it, too, in, the low assist numbers that Jokic has had.
Yeah, and, I think he'll be better. He's Jokic. I think he's the best player in the world. So I think Denver's going to be okay in that essence where it's I think their offense will be better. Doesn't mean I think they're going to win the series, but I think their offense will be better. On the other hand, with OKC, I would still like them to see them move the ball a little bit more. I mean, Denver has completely committed to the zone defense. Yep. You have a player in Isaiah Hartenstein who's probably top 3 passing big men in the league, who can create for others as well. SGA, when he wants to create, he can as well. And you saw in the fourth quarter there, they were moving the basketball, they were whipping it around, attacking the zone. Like, that's how you beat the zone. Like, yes, you have to hit your threes, right? That's a big thing. Like, they were not hitting their threes in the first half. I understand that. And, like, the threes have to go down. But the reason why their threes started falling was because they were moving the basketball, and stepping into shots. Like, you got a rhythm. Basketball's about rhythm. And I think OKC showed that in the fourth quarter, late third quarter, too. And to me, like, that's what you have to do. Like, when SGA is going one-on-one, like, it's going to work sometimes. Like, one-on-one with SGA is going to work sometimes.
It's gonna work.
Yeah,
it's gonna work.
yeah.
It's gonna
so,
work.
like, I get that.
But they're putting two on. They've been putting two on SGA.
Yeah, on the zone.
Yeah.
So it's like, why? Just trust your teammates, man. You have teammates who can score. I mean, we talked about it all year. You've talked about it specifically. Like, one day it's Isaiah Joe, another day it's Cason Wallace. You know what I mean? It's always somebody with the OKC Thunder. They are deep. They can shoot the basketball. Chet wasn't a big factor in today's game, but he's another one who can actually shoot the basketball and score if need be. So for me, like, that's what I would want to see from OKC going into Game 5, is trusting your offense and the process more, like he did in the end, kinda. Because there's still moments where SGA is just kind of like going one-on-one, and I understand that's what he does, but I would like to see them move the basketball just a little bit more. So now we move on to Game 5 in OKC. Kwab, your gut reaction, your initial thoughts for that game?
It feels like whoever wins Game 5 might win the series.
Yeah.
Should win the series.
I mean, that's what Game 5s really are.
What, say that again?
That's what Game 5s typically are. That's what it feels like, but it's 2-2.
Yeah, I think you've said it before. You felt this series is going to 7.
Yeah.
From the get go. Just looking at Denver, the fact that they're basically playing Thibodeau minutes with the starters and Russell Westbrook just has been crazy to me, because again, Michael Porter has one usable shoulder, and because they don't really have a bench, they don't use a bench whatsoever, and it's just five to six players playing all these heavy rotation minutes, and it's gonna wear them. I feel like it's gonna come down. It's gonna wear them down as this series progresses. I feel like OKC should win the next game. That would be if you forcing me to make a prediction, which I hate making predictions because I've been wrong about every prediction. I don't want to make a prediction, but it feels like next game is the Thunder's to win, and if they do, they should be able to close out the series. But some of the inconsistent play that the Thunder have had, especially late in games, and again, you said this the last recap we did. And with coaching decisions has definitely affected them. Like, this series should have been 3-1, maybe already done. If coaching,
Game 1. They blew Game 1. They threw it away.
Just threw it away. So if better coaching decisions were made, the Thunder would probably be wrapping up this series already. So if they come out, play the right way, and better coaching decisions are made, they should win the next game. So I'm gonna say Thunder win the next game. What about you?
I got the Thunder winning pretty comfortably.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be that close of a game. I don't think it's going to be like a blowout. I don't think it's going to be like what Game 2 was. Yeah. But I do think the Thunder are a better team. I do.
Yeah.
I think, they're the best defensive team in the league. I think that when they are moving the basketball, I mean, like they were in Game 1, even before they blew that lead. Like in Game 1, they looked really good, just like they did in Game 2. I think if they're moving the basketball, if they're running, Denver, they're not a good defensive team. And if you figure out this zone, if you can just kind of be patient against this zone and not play into like, you can't play one-on-one against the zone, but dribble, drive, pass the ball.
Yeah.
Pass the ball.
Move and cut, pass the ball, and take the open shots. I mean, you said, they have shooters, and they have big men who can pass. So like,
I think Denver's been playing really well. I mean, I know a lot of people didn't expect them to even make it out of the first round, me included. But at the same time, I do think this is a deeper team in the Thunder. This is a better team in the Thunder, and I fully expect them to win Game 5, and I expect them to win, by like 10, 15 points. I mean, I don't think it's going to be like a cakewalk, don't get me wrong. I expect Jokic to play better. I expect Murray to be good. I expect Aaron Gordon to show up like he has, all playoffs. But again, come on, like this is your year, OKC. This is your year. This is your year. Like, let's just be honest. This is your year. It's time to get it done. So I got the Thunder in 5.
Okay.
All right, well, that's going to do it. The OKC Thunder knock off the Nuggets 92-87 to tie up the series at 2 games apiece. Monday, we got the Knicks Celtics, baby. God.
No. Monday, we have the draft lottery results, and you're either going to see me cry,
right,
or throw a tantrum on here. So we have the draft results. Then we have, Celtics, Knicks, and Timberwolves, Warriors.
Yes. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for. We might both be crying tomorrow. Might be a sad day in the pod.
Yeah.
Or a really happy day in the pod.
We never know. We'll see. Hopefully, we'll
Tune in to see if we're hysterically crying or exuberant.
Exuberant. Yeah, hopefully exuberant.
You can follow Dime everywhere at the Dime NBA. I'm Josh Rodriguez at Josh_Rodriguez_. He's Kwab at Kwab AKS. We'll see you next time for another episode of The Dime. Peace.